of them wake up on a daily basis and choose to work in a union-free environment, while 14% choose to work in a union environment. You're advocating for all of them tonight. So I would just like to point that out as we go through this process. So we were formed 16 years ago. Why the rush to a project labor agreement? And I'm going to move away from the microphone so that I can, it's a small room, crowded but small, so that I can interact with you a little bit more and point out each of these points, which I emailed to the board. Hopefully you received a copy as well. I'd be glad to give you a hard copy if you did not. But they are the most controversial issue facing the industry. 23 states have banned them. 11 entities in California have banned them. Every entity that has had the vote put before the people, including the City of San Diego, overwhelmingly has banned project labor agreements. And you're having a vote tonight on one after hearing about it for the first time. That's what you're voting on tonight. The City of San Diego voted 58%, 42% to ban project labor agreements. After we were outspent by $1 million, voters still said no to the discrimination PLAs represented. There are 624 school construction bonds that have been approved over the last 15 years in California. 25 school districts have approved project labor K through 12. 25. What do the rest of these districts know that you don't? Why have they gone through the competitive bidding process that everyone goes through in California? Because believe it or not, there is a great deal of regulation that contractors have to adhere to in California. This is not the Wild West when it comes to contracting. California is known for its regulation, shall we say. It's the 51st least business-friendly state in the country. 624 school bonds passed over the last 15 years. And very few of them, the ones you would expect, the Los Angeles Unified School District, is that really the district you want anywhere? Los Angeles Unified School District, really? The West Contra Costa Unified School District, out of bankruptcy 10 years ago. The Oakland Unified School District, out of bankruptcy 15 years ago. These are the types of districts that employ project labor agreements. Innumerate children, illiterate children, fiscally mismanaged districts. Is this who you wish to emulate? Nobody else is doing this. In fact, a number of entities out there banning. In 2009, President Obama issued an executive order encouraging federal agencies to look into the use of project labor agreements on federally funded projects. Now, he did this as a way to give agencies the opportunity, after President Bush had an executive order actually banning agreements. He went out and encouraged the federal agencies to do this. And they did that, and they've done a great job, a thorough job. And they send out surveys before every one of these projects. Zero of them have gone forward with project labor. Why? Because the surveys have come back so overwhelmingly opposed to them from the contractors that normally did these works. These are world-class, large construction companies that are pre-qualified to do work for the federal government, and they don't want to have anything to do with them. So under President Obama's executive order, just encourage the agencies to look into them. None have. None have used them on any of their projects in his almost 8 years. Very important. What is a PLA? They really boil down to 4 key provisions, which very little time was spent on by the quote-unquote executive presentation that was made about what PLAs are. This is really what they're all about. When you have these 4 provisions taken out, which really have nothing to do with a PLA, and everything to do with implicitly or explicitly discriminating against workers and apprentices and contractors, you have something we can all sign. But without these, big labor special interests don't get the hand up that they need in order, their view of the world to compete against the merit shops that are out there. Apparently that's what they believe. Without this type of welfare, they just can't compete. I don't believe that's true. I represent union construction companies who want nothing to do with PLAs because they can compete quite fine. But what are these provisions? All workers have to pay union dues and fees. 86% of the construction industry is union free. Why should you, as a school board that knows little to nothing about construction, mandate a contractor who spent his life building his business and employing his workers, tell them that their workers have to pay union dues and they don't belong to that organization? What does that have to do with anything? Why should those dues be paid? Significant, I might add. Significant out of their first paycheck dues, they go right to the union. They're not a member of the union, but they have to pay the dues. All All workers must be hired through a union hiring hall, and contractors are limited to 3 or 6. I heard key workers, that's a new term. It's actually core workers are allowed. 3 to 6. So Helix Electric bids one of your larger projects. One of the largest electrical subcontractors happens to be non-union. Employs thousands of workers. They get to use 3, I've seen up to 6 in a project labor agreement, 3 to 6 workers when they need dozens, if not hundreds. And that's only on an alternating basis. One of their guys, or one of the non-union guys, one of their guys, or then a union guy, up to 3 to 6, and then everybody else is out in union hiring hall. So you're telling a contractor that has his business predicated and built upon the relationship he has with his workers, that his workers pretty much aren't going to be working on the project. It's going to be guys from the union hiring hall he has no relationship with, no experience with, for all intents and purposes, as far as he knows, are out to undermine his business, which has happened in some cases. That's like asking the Los Angeles Lakers to go into a playoff game, and just before tip-off, asking them to replace half their starting lineup with players from another team. Now, in the Lakers' case, it might actually help them. But in those cases, it's an insult to the business that you're asking to do that as a way of doing business. Only union apprentices can work. I have seen one PLA out of the more than 400 that I've fought, about half of which have been implemented, that has not had this provision. Specifically, what this means is that non-union apprenticeship programs, which I would hope that, again, as you slow this down, don't vote on this tonight, do your research, go out and visit the union apprenticeship programs, which are terrific. Go out and visit the non-union apprenticeship programs, which have to go through the same state and federally approved processes. And visit them and look at their programs and research them and see what they have to go through. Because when you get your PLA back, you're going to get one. Opponents like to pretend that these aren't cookie-cutter agreements, but they are. You've seen one, you've seen them all. You're going to get one that explicitly states that non-union apprenticeship programs aren't allowed at all. That's what you'll get back. You will negotiate nothing. You'll be handed that, and that's what it will say. All workers finally must pay into union benefit packages. This is the real killer provision, which again was glanced over with superficial attention by the previous presenter. So essentially what you have is you have a per hour wage that the worker receives. Then you have his benefit package placed on top of that in a public works project. Now what you have is you have a significant portion of that is dedicated to the health, welfare, and pension of that. Now,
excuse me, sir, how much more do you have, how much more time? Because the timer is gone off, so.
you're done. You're talking about $250 million. How much time do I have?
We gave you the time on the phone, so there was.
I'm sorry, how much is it?
It was 10 minutes, so. It's my understanding you had that prior knowledge.
Okay, so again, 10 minutes to discuss $250 million. How much more could I use to wrap up? I could easily spend 10 more minutes on this, so what would we do?
Yeah, didn't we get 10 minutes? I thought we got 10 minutes.
It was communicated before that.
It was. To my understanding. Can you just?
All right, well, we've got our mind made up here. So what we have here is we have questions I'll really end with. Again, I hope you all get a copy of this because you'll find all the failures of project labor agreements that we've heard, which are anecdotal, but interestingly not supposed to happen on PLAs. In fact, they do happen on PLA projects, including school projects. Rancho Campana High School in Oxnard, estimated at $42 million, came in at $58 million. Staff blamed it solely on the project labor agreement. Significant failure just in the last 14 months. So I hope you get a chance to look through that. But really, what I'll end with are the questions that require answers, and I hope you get a chance to answer each of those before you cast a vote on this. What is the problem that this is a solution to? Again, what have you discovered that's occurring that's not occurring in most of the school districts that pass bonds, particularly the PLA will hear at the cost to workers, checks, and not being able to work on your project and contractors not getting your work? What have been the local strikes and work stoppages that have occurred over, say, the last 10 years in this county that these are seeking to stop? And finally, what is Who's going to negotiate this? Why hasn't your bond oversight committee been involved in the process at all, as previous bond oversight committees have? What is the negotiating process? Will people oppose the PLAs be at the table to make sure it's a fair PLA? So consider those, don't rush to judgment tonight. Take your time on a very important issue. You have a long time to spend this money, a long time.
Thank you, sir.
Take your time.
Thank you.